Tonight on 11 News, students may face another increase in their tuition.
And we'll also get to take an inside look at the newly renovated home of the Thoroughbreds, Reagan Field. 11 News starts now.
Live from Murray State University, this is 11 News.
Welcome to 11 News. I'm Hallie Pinkham.
And I'm Brandon Story. Governor Steve Beshear recently proposed his biennial budget to the state legislature, and I was able to speak with Murray State campus officials about how this may hurt and help Murray State students.
It's the one thing students don't want to hear: higher tuition, and it could be a possibility if the state legislature passes Governor Steve Beshear's budget proposal.
I think they pay enough money. I don't want them to have to pay more, but when the state cuts our appropriations, we don't have anywhere else to go.
Students may have to make up the difference because the appropriations that the state gives to Murray State is being cut by 2.5%, which is about $1.2 million in lost money. So where's all the money going to?
They're going for K through 12 education. So that's where all the monies are going this time. So we're kind of fortunate because he's cutting all the other agencies 5%.
Students on campus had mixed reactions when told of the potential increase.
I personally don't mind as long as the money is going towards something useful here on campus.
I mean, I already can kind of barely pay, and I have a pretty decent part-time job.
Despite the negative effects the potential budget will bring to Murray State, the College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, home to about 1,400 students, will see a new building that will replace the outdated Blackburn Science Building, which is home to the Department of Physics and Engineering.
Blackburn Science Building has served us very well, but it's nearly 75 years old now. And it really doesn't meet the needs for modern science instruction and research.
The proposed plan has budgeted $32 million towards the new facility, leaving the university to pay around $5 million for its completion. Dean Dr. Steve Cobb says this will complete the upgrade of Murray State's College of Science, Engineering, and Technology, which will greatly benefit the education of future students.
They want to go out from here and they want to be able to say that I was given an opportunity to have my hands on the best equipment in the best facilities that prepare me to go on to the most rewarding careers.
Dr. Cobb went on to add that he was thankful for the commitment of the university and state to see this project come to fruition.
Thanks, Brandon. Now, when can students expect to learn about this increase in tuition?
Dr. Miller said that the state legislature, the House and the Senate, are currently in sessions right now, and they are currently discussing the proposal, and that a final plan will be decided upon either March or early April.
All right, well, thank you for that input. Wesley Bolin, a history major at Murray State University, is running for Congress. Bolin said he was tired of going to the voting booth and having to choose between two candidates who he felt indifferent toward. According to Bolin, he currently lacks 3 assets that will get him to Congress: money, recognition, and experience. The 25-year-old student is running against Republican Ed Whitfield, who is currently serving his 10th term as congressman. Bolin believes 2014 is the year of change, and he wants to be a part of that change.
2 days after the Super Bowl at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, both teams have returned home. The Denver Broncos returned hanging their heads after the 43-8 thumping they received from the Seattle Seahawks. Super Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith returned to Seattle Monday night to an excited group of their 12th man fans. Cornerback Richard Sherman exited the plane on crutches after injuring his ankle at the end of the game. The Seahawks put on the most prolific display of football the Super Bowl has seen in years, holding the NFL's #1 offense to 8 points and a minuscule 280 yards passing. Broncos quarterback Peyton Manning did break the record for completed passes in the Super Bowl with 34 completions. However, that was overshadowed by the Broncos' lowest point total all season and their worst performance in their 7 Super Bowl appearances. The Seattle streets will be flooded with the navy and green Wednesday when the Seahawks take part in their Super Bowl parade celebration. Hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, the #1 team in the world will bring the party back home for one last football celebration before the offseason begins.
Murray State University's Johnny Reagan Baseball Field has undergone renovations to welcome its fans for the 2014 Thoroughbred season. Constructed in 1989, Reagan Baseball Field hasn't undergone any renovation until last year. However, thanks to sponsors, the field finally received enough funds to construct a new grandstand. Construction began October 29th with the groundbreaking ceremony. The new improvements will include 238 chairback seats, 300 bleacher seats, and 12 handicap seats. Although inclement weather has caused some delays with construction, the project is expected to be completed by the start of the season. The Thoroughbreds open the season February 14th as they welcome Illinois State to Reagan Field.
After operating for 17 years, the Gentry House, Murray's emergency homeless shelter, is in danger of closing its doors. The Gentry House is a transitional home composed of 4 apartments leased for 30 days free of charge to families who are victims of fire, domestic violence, or evictions. Following discussion during several consecutive city council meetings, Mayor Bill Wells pledged to increase the shelter's yearly budget to $12,000 and to increase its staff. Jody Kofer, chair of the Murray Human Rights Commission, another organization working to keep the shelter open, said while a lack of funds is not the Gentry House's only problem, it can be the catalyst.
The community buy-in is relatively little. The Gentry House has been around some 20 years, and that is a concern that some of us have, that why is the community at large not getting involved in saving this nonprofit that provides a service that they are the only ones in Murray that does.
Gentry House Board has extended its estimated date of closure to the end of June, originally having set the date to be last Saturday. He said this week Mayor Wells will be providing the board with a list of recommended candidates for board positions, and that discussion will continue on this matter until either the shelter is forced to close or a permanent solution is found.
The 2014 MSU Presidential Lecture Series featured Bill Nye in the CFSB Center. Nye is a scientist, engineer, comedian, author, and inventor. His show, Bill Nye the Science Guy, won 7 Emmy Awards for writing, performing, and producing.
You can now go on YouTube and watch all kinds of astonishing science demonstrations. You can watch my show, you can watch anything. And that's good, but the downside is you have to learn a new skill. You have to learn to sort through a great deal more information that's of lower quality.
Nye's lecture was titled, "Hey Earthlings, Let's Change the World." The event was free for students and faculty and staff, and they were all encouraged to go, along with the general public. A nearly packed CFSB Center listened to Nye discuss the origins of his career in science, life of other planets, and man's exploration of space. The Presidential Lecture Series has received much enthusiasm this year for the appearance of Nye. Former speakers in the series featured guests like Spike Lee, Ben Stein, Richard Norton Smith, and many others. When we return, 11 News sits down with Alpha Gamma Delta Philanthropy Chair Rachel Ross.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to 11 News. I'm Paige Hoffmeister, sitting here now with Rachel Ross, the Philanthropy Chair for Alpha Gamma Delta. Rachel, thank you for joining us today in this inclement weather we're having.
Thank you for having me.
Now tell us a little bit about the Alpha Gamma Delta Philanthropy. What exactly is it?
The Alpha Gamma Delta Philanthropy is actually the Alpha Gamma Delta Foundation. So we emphasize our focus in juvenile diabetes research, but the way that our foundation is set up is we can give out SIS grants as well to sisters in need. So if a natural disaster were to occur, the Alpha Gamma Delta Foundation can push those funds to help those sisters and along with juvenile diabetes.
That's fantastic. And now how does the Gamma Z chapter compare to other chapters nationally?
The Gamma Z chapter right now sits at 6th in the nation in giving. And after this spring, we hope that we'll be in the top 3 giving chapters in our nation coming this next convention.
And that's great. And now you have a spring and a fall philanthropy. Tell me a little bit about the fall philanthropy that you just had back in November.
The fall philanthropy is definitely our biggest philanthropy. It's called Rockathon, and different Greek organizations on campus spend quite a bit of time actually into making up dance routines and lip syncing routines to a specific theme. In the past, this past one was Summer Days with AGD, so all of it was summer songs, summer related, and things of that nature. But every year we have a different theme. People come out and watch. We fill the 3rd floor ballroom of the Curry Center, and it's a really good time, and it ends up being pretty funny. So we raised a little over $8,000 this year with Rockathon, and our hope next year is to reach the 10,000 mark with just that event.
That's awesome. And I know you've been around Alpha Gamma Delta for a while with your family being really involved into it. So what are some of your favorite events, Rockathon themes that have happened?
I love Justin Timberlake, and I love the 90s boy bands idea. So when Rockathon was 90s based and you got throw them back into your childhood. Those are the ones I love. I like to hear the music that we don't usually hear, but I also like the themes that can be of wide variety. So my spin on Rockathon next fall is going to be something that every Greek organization can kind of make it their own. So hopefully we'll hear a lot of different music, see a lot of different routines, and get a good laugh in a lot of different ways.
And that'll be a lot of fun. And now in the springtime, I know you guys typically have a golf scramble, but that is not happening this year. Instead, you've came up with a new idea.
No, we decided that the golf scramble was, in all honesty, too much work to not see enough back. And it's all about giving back. And so we wanted to think of something that was smaller for the spring, but also raised enough money to where we could make a good dent in juvenile diabetes research. So we came up with the theme called XOXO Gossip Squirrel. And our philanthropy event this year is the week of Valentine's Day, which is the 10th through the 14th. And from 11 to 2, we're going to be little cupids outside of the bookstore and selling candy grams. We're selling bundles of kisses for $2, and everybody can send candy grams to somebody in an organization. You can put 2 from, and you need their organization because we're collecting them in Valentine's Day boxes like you make when you were little. So every organization is going to get the opportunity to kind of make the box their own, either make it love themed or their fraternity theme. And at the end of the week, we're going to count up the total and see what organization got the most. So we're going to have the most loved fraternity and sorority. So we hope that people take this event, make it fun, put funny notes in the bundles of kisses, and really just make it a big joke, because we want Valentine's Day to be a fun week, not something too intense or too sad or
yeah,
happy.
And absolutely in college you want to get everyone pepped up that time
right.
of the week. So. And now how did you come up with this idea, this unique idea?
Well, we brainstormed a lot on something that would be easy enough, but like I said, we just wanted it to be all about involvement and making it fun. And we just kept thinking about the funny movies that had stuff about Mean Girls and how everybody got candy grams, and trying to see who was the most loved. So that's what we took the spin off of, movies and things that we did back when we were little.
Well, awesome, Rachel. We can't wait to come out and show the support in the Curris Center next week. So thank you very much for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me.
There's more 11 News back in just a few minutes after this short commercial break. I'm Paige Hoffmeister.
Before we end tonight, all of us at TV 11 News would like to welcome our future racers as the annual Admitted Student Open House is currently taking place at the CFSB Center.
That's all the time we have for 11 News tonight. We hope you join us next Tuesday at 5. I'm Hallie Pinkham.
And I'm Brandon Story. Thanks for watching 11 News. Stay tuned for Roundabout U at 5:30.